uh, before I mean asking for the funding. Am I right, sir?
Yeah.
Chief Kumarji, am I right? What I have said? Yes.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you.
Okay, over to Mohit sir.
Yeah. So thank you. I think before submitting the document, my it's from my proposal. It is my proposal that can we arrange a inception workshop of SAFOAM, inviting the donor agency personnel to just to uh, just to express our interest, our objectives, and how we can proceed further, and what's our next our next goal. So then I think through that inception workshop, we can inform all the other persons except the members of the staff. With the members of the staff, we know very well about the progress and the present situation. So I think anybody can comment that the weather.
Yeah, but that's a good suggestion. But I feel first must be our organization should be registered. It should be a registered body. Has it registered already, Dr. Chattopadhyay?
No, sir, we are on the process now, but it will be done, sir.
Yeah, because everybody actually being will be have a society. Society must have to be registered. But any funding, man, if a government funding, if it is a funding from some companies or some industries and other things, they may not need a registration. But obviously, if any government agency, they will need a registration copy of the registration paper, because otherwise they cannot fill up their documents as exactly told by Dr. Shiv Kumar. So I think it is good that you have initiated that for the registration, and you have decided last time the headquarter will keep currently in Calcutta. So headquarter and a registration is primary thing before calling the funding agencies, government type. But if suppose we will make a venture of the industries at the initial stage, and also money from the membership, that can be started. You said we all are members, we can contribute something, and we can have a different category of membership. We can have maybe live member, or we may have actually pattern live member and members. So that you can start, as you have told initially, and each country can keep their money as a local chapters. The fund transfer is also another big problem if it is a from membership. So perhaps we can have chapter wise, like India, all the members Indian giving, it can be in the Calcutta headquarters. In Bangladesh, it can be Dhaka, some where we have the local chapter, and same way other countries. So some initial money, I think we should decide on the membership fees and donation from members. That is one thing we can do, for which we don't need any registration, because we know that our society is there. That is one thing. Second thing, some of the industries, they don't need, they have actually what they call, but they want actually tax things. You see that because they get income tax rebate for funding to societies. So they will be very free to give, but they need two things. We should have also, Navanshu, we should have also apply for a income tax PAN number. Because suppose you are approaching anybody in India, suppose they get a rebate from their what they call CSR fund. From the CSR fund, they will be very happy to support, because agriculture is not such a thing. Nobody will no, we don't need, because that is food, but we need that. And so therefore, I think these two things, one, society registration, even before registration, we can start work, like we have started already work for so long time. So now registration should be much easier, and you can do that, and also apply for a PAN card. So that income tax. So these two are perhaps minimum mandatory things for getting fund from the different corporate sectors. And side by side, as just told by our chairman, Dr. Mohammed Abdul, we can have a meeting of the funding agencies like even the World Bank and maybe actually Asian Development Bank, WMO, many funding agencies there. But for them, we should have specific proposal for which we are getting the fund. They cannot give a fund for a society because we have society. We will tell that we are doing something for the Bangladesh or we are doing something for the Bhutan or this is the project, this is the money required, for this we need. And some donor will tell, yes, I will give for Bhutan. Some will tell, yes, I will give for Sri Lanka. Something like that they will give. They cannot give a basket money that I feel. Of course, I have never asked that type of money, but in general, I feel they will do that. And when we are doing that, and when suppose a World Bank or any country like Switzerland or Canada or somebody give a fund, they need also a certificate from the state agency. Suppose we tell we have to establish something in Sri Lanka, suppose. They want to know a willing letter from Sri Lankan agency that, okay, if some money is coming from Canada for this purpose, then we will facilitate it. Facilitate means they will not give any facility, they give a permission for our people to work there. So therefore, money have to come the project base. Money cannot come. We need money. No, that will come perhaps from our members. So that is what I feel. Suppose even we have MOS in India, MOS may give funding, but they will need a registration. They will need second thing that third thing they will need that what for we ask. So we have to make small projects, some documents, we will support this thing, will you support that thing, will you do this thing. So that also we have to do perhaps. So I feel that these are the main issues perhaps we will discuss with all our esteemed members. But once we decide, okay, we will take 4 or 5 projects and we will take this thing and we will do this activities. And that one thing, second thing, membership, third thing actually from the industrial sector or corporate bodies.
Yeah, I think if you want to go for funding, I think they should wait for about 5 to 6 months. First of all, we have to establish ourselves. First, we have to register our society, then start some activities. Then we have to really get information of each of the countries. What are their current status? What are the gaps? Where we can really help them. Then prepare all this information. Then only we should go for funding. So funding should come at a different level. Once we have to be known to people what we are, then only somebody can think of funding us. Then, as somebody said, they are called CSRs, corporate social responsibility. There are many corporates which are funding in agriculture for water management, soil and water conservation, and different aspects. And recently, Amazon, Microsoft, and Cisco, they're trying to take up a very big program. And the government of India is trying to provide them 24 billion databases of farmers, soils, cropping systems, etc., everything for the whole country. And they're going to control the whole agriculture. And part of it is the weather advisories. And Geo Platform and ITC and others, they are also playing a role. Already they started their work, trying to create a kind of a platform for that. So a lot of things are coming. Maybe we can chip in into that system also, where we can play a slight positive role with respect to weather advisories. So what kind of information we can provide compared to what is already available through various IMD and other sources? So how we are different from that? Our aim will be morely towards training those current researchers or the workers to be more accurate in their type of estimation and assessment and strengthening their programs. So I think we should think on those aspects. Maybe I think we should wait for 5 to 6 months before you start asking somebody for funding. Because first we have to register. So somebody has to give some fund. They have to have a society. They have to have a registration number, a bank account. Everything should be there. Only then only you can get funding. This is just my point at this stage. Thank you.
Sir, actually, the philosophy. Shivkumarji, can you mute your system?
Yeah, I can mute.
Sir, Ramkrishna sir, the philosophy is very clear from the beginning that whatever you said is correct, but we have to go parallelly. Because when you go for the funding, you are not immediately asking the funding. When you ask the funding, what Shivkumarji has mentioned, you need these are the inputs. Okay, so we are because every now week we'll be having a meeting of different groups. Okay, all the groups will work simultaneously and they should link with each other. So that is the way we have today called the funding committee meeting. First meeting, things will be clear that what are the prescribed form, what and also what is said that if even also we make one small capacity building training, suppose a very small funding because you know that you already know Sama has already done 1 year's activity without any fund actually they have done. So, but we can do a minimum funding with the subscription of the members, and we can start up with some, so that our, what are the objectives slowly. But I totally agree with you that funding cannot be immediately we can ask. We can ask, but even also after 5 months you ask, you have to need all the inputs, your registration, then then which are the institute will be doing, what are the signals from the individual countries or like that. That is why it will be all are in parallel. All the groups will work parallelly so that we can do. This is my submission. Over to you.
Yeah, Dr. Chato.
Yes.
Yeah, I think this is good suggestion, but we need to take two things into account because all committees are working parallelly. Both finance and your technical program should go side by side. So immediately, suppose before we take funding from some government agencies or international organization, what Professor Mohanty has rightly suggested, that we need to have registration and some fund should be the immediate requirement. Now we are talking luckily through VC, but there will be requirement of some funding. So two issues like this membership fee need to be decided, and second thing, some like donations from the founding members or anybody. At least you should have some fund with you so that you can plan any activity. Every time you need fund and you will call a meeting. Some starting fund must be with us, through both the ways. Membership fees as well as donation. Even founding member can give donation, or anybody who wish to donate something. I think we should have some fund. Only then we can have fast growth. I think Hudasab is agreeable to this, and other members I will like to hear. Thank you, Chato sir.
Sir, registration actually I have already contacted that in the court, and they have asked me to again to go to the court and do so. Registration process is already on the, and I will take the suggestion from Someshwar Das who has already done for Sama. These are two things, and for this membership free of the founding members, we are in a plan to conduct a advisory committee meeting with the council members. Maybe within 15 days we can sort it out this issue. Thank you, Atreji. This is a very good proposal. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Over to you, Mohit sir.
Yeah, thank you. Very good suggestions from the very valuable persons. It is very enthusiastic, I think. For the first of all, I think for creating funds from the founding members or other members, general members. So first of all, from my part, I suggest that create a registration form and and the formation of the local chapter in the different individual countries, and then we can approach for registration of the members through giving the some fees. We can decide what will be the donation, maybe another things, but the for membership fee we can decide here in this meeting that how much we can fix the registration fee for the members, for the founding members or other members. I think uh, everybody can, the members who are joining this meeting, they can think and give the proposal how we can proceed further. So I request uh, for comments from any person for as a open discussion. So anybody have the some comments, you can pass your comments.
Dr. Huda.
Thank you, Dr. Moed and Navangsu, and all those people just mentioned a few minutes back, and particularly Dr. Atri, one just Shivotri just mentioned. I just want to add one more thing: some philanthropic sources for the funding, like say donation. But I know all those points that you mentioned by Dr. Ramakrishna. Let's wait for 5-6 months. While we can do that, but we can also start thinking about it, right? That where we should approach and for what, particularly some priority areas. Because as Dr. Aptu said, Namangshu is organizing this meeting. Say it costs some money. We can't do things without funding, right? This process is going on nearly for a few months, and for anything that you do, it costs time and money, right? So of course we're all doing it because we love it, we have passion, but it has always a limit how far it can go. Now, if Shiv hearing, I'm not sure that he's there. I was thinking about one model that Shiv was involved, and I was there in a very small way. Is Dr. Nene. Some of you might know him, Dr. Wael Nene. Shiv, if you remember that, in 1996. When he was about to retire from the CRSAT system. And I was visiting a CRSAT 95th December, and I met him, and he mentioned that he's opening a society called South Asia, Asian Agri-History. So now our forum is South Asia Forum on Agriculture Meteorology, and Dr. Nene had Asian Agri-History Foundation, and that went on for many years. I'm not sure what's happening now. So what had happened, people like Shiva Kumar and few others who were very significant donations, and they give, and some of us give a little kind of thing, but he has a very clear purpose. Dr. Nene had a very clear purpose, what he did, and he mentioned until, I'm not sure they're still going on or not. I used to get very regularly, and there are bound copies of the report. So what I'm thinking of, in addition to whatever we are proposing to do, if we can think about one or two important priority areas of project, it could be training each country was and all that kind of stuff. And it has to, of course, register as a trust or something, like somebody mentioned that, as a trust or some society. But we need some funding. And that funding can come from a number of sources, as we discussed. We all know that. It can be membership. It can be all the CSR from different funding, bankings, all that kind of stuff. But I think we have a mission, we have a vision, and we have some dedicated people. And particularly, we have a number of countries now in South Asia involved. So priority-wise, we need to have some funds, I think. Within, I won't say even 5 months, 6 months. I think as soon as possible, I think Navangshu needs some fund, I think, to do anything. That's my personal view. And so please think carefully. And of course, it has to be, what you call, any money means it can have some other issues, but it has to have what we call transparencies, all accounting system, everything has to be put in place. But I think the people like we have right now that I'm seeing 18 people, all I know, all of them I know, and all very highly regarded people around the world. So I think I won't say anymore, but other than, I think I wrote to Navangshu a few times about this issue. So we need to identify some priority project area. Of course, it needs to be project-based, like Professor Manti said. It has to be project-based, I think. And then, as Shiv said, document has to be prepared depending on what funding agency is. And I think we have all discussed this. There are ways, everybody knows it. We might invite some people, but I think we need to have priority. And I think people think about one or two priority areas where Nabangshu can get some significant amount of funding so that he can organize meetings and organize other things that need to be done. And some address issues, problems, like is a priority to do something in Bhutan or in Nepal or parts of West Bengal, India, or parts of Bangladesh or Pakistan or Afghanistan, wherever you are working on. So we need to have some basic funding, and then you can demonstrate that our society is problem solving. So the people can see it, funding body can see it, and the donors can see it, and things will proceed. But I think we need to find one or two priority areas where we can get some funding, no matter how much it is, and so that Nabangshu can successfully start addressing some practical problem to solve. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Dr. Huda, sir, 1 minute. Dr. Huda, whatever the valuable suggestions you are given is exceedingly well. I just wanted to know what Dr. Moeed has already mentioned in the beginning, how we can arrange an inception workshop involving the donors. How is possible? And what could be the mechanism of calling this meeting? Because if I may invite, but he may not, they may not be interested. But how this can be, can you give, because you have a long-standing idea onto that. How can you just advise us how an inception meeting, because that will give lot of boost. Yeah, at least donor agencies, they will come to know at least that SAFOAM is working. I really appreciate what Dr. Moeed has said. Can you give some light onto this? Dr. Huda.
I'm saying that, like that we have, and if we can come up with a clear proposal based on, today's discussion, as we got people there, what it is that can be addressed in maybe next few months as a problem kind of things, the priority areas kind of which you can address. That can be simply training or workshop or starting your work activities that if you're organizing as a secretariat, right? I know nobody will give you money to secretariat, to establish secretariat, but you need to have a support to do certain things, and that funding can be arranged either a number of ways. I think people can do whatever way they think, I think, but that's the decision we have to make. But at the same time...
Sorry, actually, I have asked one very specific, I think you have muted. I was asking that what Dr. Moeed has mentioned, that inception meeting involving the donor agencies, how this meeting is possible, why the donor agency will be interested to join with us. Can you give some kind of mechanisms how this meeting can be arranged? Because I don't have any idea onto that.
Okay, thank you. I'm saying that people are here in the group. Everybody has experience, like Dr. Sheikh is there, Dr. Shamakrishnan, and all those people have organized donor meeting in the past, including me. So if we can identify a clear proposal, either a capacity building or research or training, which you're talking about, okay, and then identify a country or the region that you want to do, and then identify a donor, and as you said, inception meeting, and that can be government. It doesn't have to be what you call the Australian Center of International Agricultural Research or FAO. It could be a DST, for example, Department of Science and Technology in India. It can be Bangladesh, for example. They have funding, right? They have that kind of funding. So if we are addressing and or some institutions, or some trusts, also philanthropic sources. If we can, I'm particularly thinking of philanthropic sources. Really, actually, but the old days name is Tata Trust or something like that. The name comes to my mind, I think. Okay, because that's where we grew up with the Tata name. I think there'll be many others in India, for example. So if we can identify a particular problem and that you want to address, and I'm sure all these 18 people that are sitting here, some of you have some connections with those people and can approach and demonstrate, look, where is society? Of course, you need to register it and then invite them in this kind of meeting, as Dr. Majid said, the inception meeting. But before that, you need to very clearly do some homework, just like a problem and project that you write and funding. Okay, write a project, funding, and get that particular funding agency, whoever it is, a trust funding or whoever we can approach that, I think, and invite them. That's a good idea. And if possible, meet in person. But I think in India is opening up. Australia is still not open up. I'm hoping that in the next few weeks or months will open up. But I think it's a good idea to contact some of the funding agencies, and particularly maybe, as you say, in each country can have a different chapter kind of thing. I'm not sure, but somebody has to make a start, and that's what I was thinking. And without funds, can't do much thing, I think, isn't it? And the funds cannot be, as you say, if you do Nobangshu, it's a lot of time. I can see that you spend a lot of time in organizing this. You need to support, and we need to support. We need to value our time, I think, isn't it? Particularly if you're spending so much of time in sending, what I can see, all these emails and contact and stuff, and your time has to be paid. That's my honor my billing, I think. And it may not be a huge amount of money, but some amount of money. And particularly working in the developed country, and if you are not paid, people don't value it. That's what they say. I think you may do a lot of work on other things, so it needs to be paid. And at least I'm thinking the secretariat costs has to be paid initially. I think whatever the money comes from.
I have a small point. What I feel is, first of all, let SAFOAM be made a part of INSAM. Because the moment is made a subsidiary of INSAM, then its value increases. So that is one point I have. And since you are the leader in both the groups, maybe it is possible. Then second thing is, once that is made, you can make a small seminar where you invite all the top people in different countries, like the Director Generals, the WMO Chief Shiv Kumar is there, Huda is there. Each of them can make 5 minutes presentation of what this society can really do. And we can invite all the donors from the different countries, the Ministries of Agriculture, Ministry of Water Resources, and some top corporate offices. And even like JICA, you can call. Japanese also, they give a lot of funding. Then the UNDP, WMO. So if you make a small presentation of what the focus of this particular group is, what is aiming to do, how it is trying to strengthen the agri services in different countries, I think that can really create interest in them. So some seed money they can give for the beginning. So once you get the seed money, we can go ahead and then you can start to build up on that in future. And second thing is getting our membership fees also can be things to start with. So I think these two can be a good idea. But if you can make this a subsidiary of INSAM, I think that can be one of the good solutions. That gives some kind of reputation to this also. Thank you.
I think thank you very much for your nice comments from the Dr. Huda and Ramkrishna also. So I think first of all we have to form a local chapter to the individual country, and then the registration form, and then in the local chapter, formation of local chapter, then the president, secretary, and one of the important member is the treasurer. So, and then account opening. I think we can go in that way. That I am requesting the Dr. Navangshu that you can form a different local chapter for the different countries with the treasurer, president, and the secretary. And then in that there is a registration form for the membership, and also we can decide the membership fees, and then we can open a bank account. So every transparency, whatever we need, I think we can proceed on that way. Then first of all, the fees, membership fees from the founding member and the others general members, we can start with this. This the from my part the comment, and I am requesting other members here in the present to say their comment, pass their comments. Somebody pass their comments in the chatting box. So I think they can also come forward and then express their views and ideas about this. So somebody, the Rangla Ranglashmi Raj.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, can you
Good
can you
evening.
pass your comment? Yeah.
Yes, sir. We can see some of the forums already established, how they have registered and how they have been functioning, because in the South Asia, several countries have their own financial norms. So, country-wise chapter may be a kind of an option to have a financial transactions, and at the same time each country can develop corpus as mobilization of money from different sources. One is from membership, another one is from individual contributions, corporate contributions. Like that we can develop some strategies for mobilizing the fund and keep it as a kind of an corpus. From the corpus we can develop some amount of programs. Apart from that, some research organizations like APN are within India, DST at international level, WMO, those can be contacted at different levels based on the activities which we are proposing, because they may not contribute for the society, but for the activities they may give. So such kind of strategies we can bring out as part of the funding mobilization and registering the organization as a legal entity to act. Thank you, sir.
Dr. Raman Rao may speak.
You are mute, perhaps, not audible. Dr. Ramana Rao.
Sir, please unmute your mic, Raman Rao sir.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now? Hello?
Yes,
sir.
yes, yes.
Here, yeah.
Yeah. We should develop, we should try for program-based funding. That means particularly in areas of human resource development, we should try to corner the international agencies for funding. Then secondly, we should organize some workshops, brainstorming sessions, symposiums, etc., and try to get some funds generated for that. Just nobody would like to donate money without a cause. So we have to show some programs, some concrete programs, and demand for funding. That's my idea.
Okay, then Dr. Shah Kamal Khan. Dr. Shah Kamal Khan, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Yes, sir. Am I audible now? I am Dr. Prasad Rao.
Yeah.
Yes, I have two suggestions sir, here. My previous speakers, what they spoke, I do agree with them. Immediately raising fund is through organizing some conferences at national or international level and approach the sponsors. not only membership coming out of that, and there will be many organizations, scientific or research organizations. If we approach them, we are going to conduct such a seminar or conference like that, we will get some funding. For example, DST can extend, ICR can like that. There is a way to get immediate funding, to have some seed money to spend for our association activities. That is one thing, sir. Second thing is, there are many ICT agencies now who are interested in agromet advisory services. If we approach them, they are likely to donate some money for this purpose. Because this is also one of the objective of our associations, to have some agromet advisory services. The third one is, as our Dr. Oda was pointing out, there will be some donors among the founding members or somewhere for the cause of science of agriculture meteorology. They may contribute in a small way or big way. That should be contacted in person and get some fundraising mechanism can be started. These are the three suggestions I have, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much, Gandhi Rao. I think first of all we have to expose our activities, objectives, and the future way forward. What we will do for the South Asian countries, then we have to expose that to the donor agencies first of all. I think so. Then, so how we can uh, ex- expose these ideas to the donor agencies? That should be think. Uh, we should have to think that. So thank you very much. So anybody?
Can I suggest?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think as we all discuss and you very much emphasize, we should have first the membership money, we should have a registration, we should have a electronic newsletter or something which should publish regularly, so which can tell our objectives, our goal and other things, so that actually that circular can go to all funding agency as a just like a newsletter from the SAFOAM should publish either once in 2 months or 1 a month, depending upon the things. For that, actually, membership should be passed. Money should come from within us.
Right.
And then we should have a registration. And we should have a newsletter which can give our objectives, our plan, or for some activities in Bhutan, Nepal, this thing, that thing, every newsletter where the SAFOAM like to involve. And then, as all members have told, it is very much required that we should tell for what we need money, for which program, in which country or in region. So, best thing actually, definitely, I saw that from earlier work from this SAC Meteorological Center, that we should have some experimental work, if possible, which is common to many countries on agrometeorology, if it is possible. Because people come together when they participate, share their thoughts, share their data, share research and all things. Of course, manpower development is one of the thing, and fortunately with COVID, at least we have learned, without spending money also, we can have a training program.
Sir, the first priority is to register. So first one is you have to first make the bylaws, register the society. You have to create a face. Unless you have a face, nobody is going to fund you.
From members has membership fee.
Yeah. So first you have to create a face. So then only you can go to anybody, then ask for any funding. Because unless you have registration, unless you have bank account, unless you have bylaws, nobody is going to give us any funding. So that's why I said it will take at least 1 to 2 months minimum to start with. And once you do that, then let's call for a small conference where all the top people from different countries can make small 5 minutes presentation, giving what are the gaps in their countries and what kind of help this society can really bring in, because what type of experts they have in this society. So once you give them confidence, many funding agencies will come forward to fund us. So that can be part two. That's why I said it will take about 6 months for funding.
Okay. Anybody more?
Yes, sir.
Dr. Sheikh is there. Arvind Sheikh.
I would like to tell.
Yes. Yes, sir. You continue.
Okay.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we are here.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Mayur, Shiv Kumar, Raman Rao, Vas Ramakrishna, Huda, and Chattopadhyay and Rathod. I think many aspects has been already mentioned and discussed by Dr. Mohantiji, and subsequently the Shiv Kumar and A.K.S. Huda. In this particular aspect for the financial, charity starts from the home. And first of all, we have to start in making the member of the SAFOAM. You can divide it like member, organization member, institutional member, and fix the fee. And then ask the people to contact the different region. That is the one thing. And before that also, all the bylaws and everything that we have to get it registered. And once that funds comes from by the membership, we can start the online webinar for the students of the university and make the request to each and every university that the people or the students of the masters and the PhD and the staff, they participate and gather the some registration fee and select the experts from amongst our group. They will have their help honorary and they will deliver the lecture. And that kind of training program or the workshop program of a week or so and daily 2 hours, the students can easily register for within the minute fee. And that fees also that SAFOAM can take, registration fee. Then the some journal which has a wide circulation, we can give some advertisement or request to the scientists to become a member of this, our SAFOAM. So the membership fees also can be increased in the for the SAFOAM. And then the most important is our website should be prepared first. And in the website, that our bulletin, everything should go regularly. Weekly bulletin we can print or monthly bulletin we can print. And what are the activity that we are going, that also we can seek. And the good suggestion is that the INSAM, that the collaboration with the INSAM is also a good suggestion so that your branding can start. But I don't know what other people think, but it is a good suggestion that with the INSAM, if we link it, then we can get a good benefit also. And in the Journal of Agrometeorology, our own journal, we can give, it is a quarterly journal, we can give the requests to the scientists and people and the students for the membership and sometimes a kind of program. Second thing is we can approach the government agriculture department for the training program of the farmers for the keeping in mind the particularly the insurance program, crop insurance program, that how the farmers is to be educated. And in that one, the insurance company, different, nearly 15 companies are involved in the crop insurance scheme, those who are offering. That company we can approach for the funding also. And their idea also we can take. And in this way, only we can raise the fund. The important thing is first we have to decide the membership fee, different category. And from that, it is we have to request all the founding member to have a drive to have a maximum member. And from that, all the activities start. In the meantime, as Prasad Rao has already told, the DST and other our scientific organizations, Department of Environmental Science, we can request that such and such organization have been formed. And for that purpose, also some symposia, international symposia, or something like that. For that, the fund we can ask from the that particular organization also. And this particular thing, by this way, we can go further, and all the member wholeheartedly have to involve in this particular activity. And then I think there will not be any problem for raising the fund if we sincerely and try, all member will try. And I think by this way, the first is the membership drive we have to start, then the funding level or the kind of funding level. But in that case, the currency and all these things, account opening, how to in different companies, South Asian country, in which currency you collect the membership fee. That all problem we have to resolve. In our bylaws, that the different chapter has given the freedom for collection of the fees. Then how that it is to be transferred. Otherwise, it is all the problem of the exchange of money and money laundering will come also. Yet the situation is very not suitable. So all these aspects have to think. But first of all, as a big brother, we have to start from India. In India, we can get maximum member because we have all good establishment in different university department, so we can get a good response. And other country member also can start contact with that university and all these things. And I think we have to put efforts for particular membership fee drive. Thank you.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Hello.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can talk.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot for giving me the floor to raise few issues. In fact, I was enjoying the intellectual discussion, and experts are discussing on these financial issues, how we can raise the finance. Without finance, we cannot proceed. In fact, so my first proposal is a few legal issues needs to be clarified first, as a registration of SAFOAM, analyze the constitution, bank account opening, fund management procedure, and the responsible persons, audit, and some other issues should be clarified first. Otherwise, it will not be the legal way to handle the funds. So first of all, we have to ensure these issues first. And second one is that Dr. Mohit sir has already raised regarding the inception workshop. It's also important. SAFOAM is a new organization becoming organization discussing with the climate change and the climate smart agriculture and the climate. These are the hot issues right now. So a few donors will come forward in that inception workshop. So we can proceed about that issues. And you know, sir, climate smart agriculture and the climate smart nation building are the hot cake in the globe right now. So if we organize a physical workshop, seminar, or capacity building in any of our countries, South Asia, it may be held in the headquarters in India even. So, and different government and non-government organizations will respond and it needs to have to pay a few registration fees. So it's another way to earn money, as well as SAFOAM will focus in the globe. And third one is that we can develop a souvenir or directory for SAFOAM. Our committee members' introduction, photos, and few important articles will be there. And side by side, we can collect few advertisement from different relevant organizations, maybe government, private, or non-government organizations. So it will be very easy to earn money, and it will increase the fund of our SAFOM. And another thing, it has already been discussed in this forum that we have to seek some donors as well. In that case, we have to uh, show our registration and the legal issues first, and then we have to give some specific project, say capacity building of the agreement service providers, or the capacity building of the relevant personnel, or even the farmers. So if we design a project like that, and then if we approach to our donors, please, we would like to do such kind of works, so please help us. Even website building or portal build up or some other activities, if we design first, then it will not be a critical issues to get response from the different donors. So these are my few uh, issues in my mind. So we can proceed accordingly. And memberships registration is very important, and it has already been discussed. And chapter wise, country wise, it will be fine. And I obviously India can come forward first, and then we Bangladesh and South Asian other countries may respond accordingly. So Moisar already mentioned that the registration form should be clarified first, and the committee, including the president, secretary, and the treasurer, at least 3 members should be there to handle the money, and then it may be transferred to the headquarter or some local wards. So yeah, in this way we can proceed. So thank you, sir, for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you, Dr. Kamal. So anybody like to pass your comment? It's open.
Yes, sir. Hearing all the comments, I am just making some kind of summary onto that. First of all, what Dr. Huda had mentioned, we don't have secretariat. Even also, if you do some work, you don't have any person here. So we need very minimum seed money so that secretariat can be built up. What other thing is important here that you have to sensitize the people, individual chapters, and also the donors also. You have to sensitize what already been mentioned. Whatever we have done in all 104 participants are there. First approach we have given that we have given the certificate to them, so that they now know that they are an integral part of the SAFOAM, right? Now, individual chapters, now we will be trying now how this chapter and how they can make the connections with the individual government, so that is kind of sensitization things will arise. When it will be sensitized, then only all the organization will respect whatever we will be telling or whatever it may be. So I have categorized her into 3 categories. One is a generic. In the generic, the registration, then your membership. Even membership is not a very simple issue, because no funding will be coming from one country to other country. So until unless the chapter is formed, bank account is formed in an individual country, he or she cannot ask any membership. In India, we can start. That will be started actually, the bank account registration like that. But in other country, we have to sensitize. Another thing that whatever the Dr. Raman Rao has mentioned, that it should be issue based. Suppose if I feel that in Mali there is no agromet advisories. So that means we have to give a projects from Mali only agromet advisories. But if I feel that in Bangladesh and maybe in Sri Lanka, research is not that much, so we can give a research. So whatever we'll do, sir, what we'll prepare the project issue based and need based as per the country, maybe 3 or 4 we can categorize, and then we can have another meeting here with the funding. We can discuss how we can make the funding, what are the issues or like that. But one point will be coming that if we ask any funding agency to give fund, he will ask how much fund you need. That means we have to very clear. I mean, if you make some funding for Sri Lanka, Bangladesh will be totally different. So we have to discuss amongst us and make this funding. So what we will do, sir, we will do all this kind of exercise, whatever been mentioned now, and maybe after 1 month, because you know that the group number 1, they have the responsibility of getting the information about the need, what exactly need of Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Bhutan, whatever may be. They will be taking, and then based on that, we will make the proposal. Okay. Even also DST and MOES, we will be in touch with DST and MOES because they are also giving the funding. But one thing we will try, sir, that we will different formats. In different formats will prepare, because the Swiss funding agencies, their format is totally different than the other funding agencies. So we'll make the format. So what we'll feel that our next meeting should be very productive based on today's discussion, so that we should get all the informations together, and in between also we can exchange mail, because in one meeting you cannot resolve all these issues. So whatever the minutes will be there, action point minutes, that minutes will be there. We will be asking 1 month actually. This is the things to be done. We have then only we have to, and also we have to sensitize this very good proposal that newsletter. Again, I'm telling newsletter. We don't have any people here to make the newsletter, but definitely we will try that, and that newsletter will be making. We make a contact with these different funding agencies, so that they should know that our presence is there. So this is a very productive discussion is there, but implementation is not so easy. 1 or 2 men handling in virtually, but definitely we'll do. So over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you. I think very valuable comments comes from the valuable member of this meeting, and I think all the suggestions and the recommendation we can whether we can send to the other members through email, that to add some other comments from the individual members for these. I think it will be then more comments and more valuable suggestion may come from the different corners of the different members. So I think we can accumulate the today's suggestions of the today's meetings minutes to the before finalizing that we can send to the other members who are not present here. So for asking them to give their from valuable suggestion from their part, I think it will be more effective. I think so. Any other comments from any available persons?
Sir, I have comments actually. Whatever you said, definitely it will be circulated. And also, we have a WhatsApp group also. We are circulating through them also. But what I feel, sir, this kind of activity should be diversified. May not be from the one point. Suppose if any member said that, some of the government organization, somebody said it is through advertisement, somebody said other means. I think if it will be diversified, they take their own action, then I think that makes a lot of sense rather than making one point to do all the activities. I mean, this is my submission.
Navanshu, can I say something?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Actually, before raising the funds, we need to open an account in the bank. And for that, you need a PAN number also for FAO. Only then you can do funding by donation or whatever the ways may be. Your sound is not there.
What's your mic?
Sorry. Bhargav Sahab, this is a good suggestion. Also, we have raised so many times. So I have already talked to the manager of the State Bank of India, and he said he will be guiding me. So before the next meeting, registration and bank account, at least for India, this should be done, right? Okay.
So
Yeah.
anybody?
What I suggest is, as a follow-up of this meeting, the chairman should send letters to different countries, identifying 2 or 3 people from each country, and asking them to make a small status paper on their countries. What are the requirements? What are the strengths of those countries? What are the gaps where they would like to have some kind of a training or some kind of a strengthening programs? So that can become a source for us to really mention in our meetings. So I think this exercise can be done and that can be communicated and discussed in the next meeting.
For that purpose, I have given suggestion that the local chapter formation is the important. So who will bail the rings? So in each and every country should have the local formation of the local chapter, and we can give the responsibility to them, to what they need in the individual countries and what they like to do for further actions. So I think you can think that for the formation of local chapter in the individual countries.
Ramakrishna sir, whatever you mentioned, actually the group number 1, so we'll be having a meeting. They have the questionnaire, everything. So they will be interacting. Once all the informations are coming, then the president of this SAFOAM, he will write to the individual chapter, or maybe as per their suggestion, who is the authority in that country, to give, because if it is coming from the authority, I think that will be more substantial. So I will request President of SAFOAM to write to all the countries based on the feedback from the group number 1. You have any comments, Ramakrishna sir?
Has this performance been sent to different countries?
Yes.
Let's wait for that replies. Once you get that, I think that can be circulated.
Yes.
Let's all assess what are the strengths and weaknesses in different places. Then identify what kind of programs that can go there. Then we'll have a discussion. Then finalize those programs, and then we start putting them into practice.
Yeah.
Next 1 month, I mean, what I feel, I have a more work that how to sensitize individual country with the members, with the chapters, to understand that all the formalities and everything. So next 1 month I will do this job actually, parallelly.
So in the meantime, if the proformas come, you kindly circulate that information, synthesize that information and circulate to all of us. So we also know about different countries, what is the status.
Yes, definitely. So everything in this SAFOAM, sir, whatever we have taken the step, whatever the one group is doing as they are linked to the other, so all the information immediately will be circulated to 104 founding members. Absolutely.
That would be great. Dr. Kamal, did you speak? Yes, you should say something, sir.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Dr. Kamal, what I was saying, Namangshu, and I think last time our meeting, you mentioned that I think 3 or 4 of these members, I think Namangshu yourself, and maybe Shiv, and maybe Dr. Moji, you did some consulting with the WMO or FAO in Bangladesh and Nepal. I think that's the kind of message I got, I think, last meeting that we had, that you just completed a WMO sponsored workshop in Nepal and Bangladesh recently, or if it is true, then what sorts of recommendations were there made by some of our participants from this group? I think the recent consulting by WMO sponsored or FAO sponsored. So if we can identify one or two top areas or priority areas from those recommendations that people are there, and then maybe can be approached. I know WMO and FAO, they give fund to the country based. They don't give fund to SAFOAM or somebody. But I think being the members were common, some sort of mechanisms, I think people like Dr. Ramakrishna will have some experience, I think, how to take some of those consulting recommendations that were made recently in those countries, or one or two priority countries, and see whether some follow-up action that needs to be done. For example, in Bangladesh, I'm not sure that Dr. Mujit himself or Dr. Kamal, they're here. So if we can pick up one particular priority areas that recently been done, and then follow-up action, and how SAFOAM can be participating. So that's the kind of area I'm thinking about. I'm not able to possibly communicate properly, but I think this is what I'm thinking about, that some issue that has been done, and I think many of these people in the team, they're all really highly sought after people from WMO or FAO and those kind of things, you were doing it. So if you can identify one or two priority areas that you have done recently, either in problem solving area, actual agriculture, climate related, or teaching, education, or capacity building area, and identify that, and then address that issue as a issue based, like Dr. Ramanana mentioned before. I think that's what I'm thinking about. I don't know how to do it, and it can be done, I think, but needs a bit of effort. But for that, you need a minimum. It's not all 104 people need to work on it. We need 2 or 3 people, maybe depending on what the issues are. The team, small to big team, large team kind of thing, need to be addressed, I think, and formed, so that this can be approached, I think. Thank you.
Sir, actually, whatever you mentioned, that you know that one forum has been already formed, South Asia Hydromet Forum. And this third meeting of South Asia Hydromet Forum, first meeting held in Geneva, second meeting held in Kathmandu, and third meeting will be at end of this month. And here in this meeting, World Bank and WMO and other FAO, they are involved into that. Okay. And I talked to Dr. Rathore and myself, we talked to World Bank, because World Bank is funding to South Asia Hydromet Forum. Huge funding they are given through RIMES, right? And now we have requested actually World Bank to make one session, panel discussion for hours also for SAFOAM, so that we can address all the issues and funding also, what we required from WMO or World Bank or FAO. So I have written to RIMES director yesterday. Maybe he will be responding tomorrow. We said that from SAFOAM we want to represent South Asia Hydromet Forum to address our issues and take up some of the projects under the funding of WMO or maybe World Bank. So maybe if that materialize, that also be, but we are also trying on to that, right?
What's the difference between this South Asia Agreement Forum and the SAFOAM? Both the aim is same, isn't it?
It's South Asia, that is called South Asia Hydromet Forum, right? That is, they are talking about the hydrology part, or like the mostly flood and other things. So SAFOAM is supplementing. Actually, I attended the second meeting in Kathmandu, where Bangladesh, Dr. Aziz represented that Bangladesh project. So there we said that how Agromet Advisory Service can complement to South Asia Agromet Forum. But as we have a group now, SAFOAM, all the South Asian countries, I think in a better way we can work together. Even that applies for SAMA also. They are also SAMA is also requested some funding from through South Asia Hydromet Forum. So this process is ongoing, right?
Yeah, how
May
is
I
this farm being
add
funded?
one point? Hello. Hello.
Sir, you continue.
Yeah, actually, we have to encash our strength of SAFOAM. What are the advantage? What are the assets of SAFOAM in terms of resource persons and facilities? That if we can highlight, it will be very convincing for the international organizations to come forward for funding, or national organizations, whatever it may be. So we should prepare a status paper on strengths of SAFOAM, what SAFOAM can do, which others cannot do. That we should be able to bring out.
Sir, absolutely. Actually, what Dr. Kamal has mentioned, a very right point. We will be asking all the founding members to at least one page biodata. Means what exactly they have done, what is their capacity, and what is their vision. So if they can, and we can document this thing, and we can circulate that this is the strength where SAFOM can do, which others may be difficult. I really appreciate Dr. Kamal's suggestions and your suggestions, sir.
How is this South Asia Agreement Forum getting funding? That also must be new.
Hydromet funding.
Who is getting the funding? Because that also
South,
must be a new foundation for forum.
South Asia Hydromet funding, they are getting the funding from WMO. But the work has been given to RIMES. All the funding is coming from WMO. Sorry, World Bank. World Bank is giving all the funding.
So anybody?
Can I say something?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, actually, whatever money we collect through membership, it will be just a capital, and it's not anyway sufficient or useful for us to conduct any activity with the money we collected on membership. So we have to generate funds through our efforts, through encashing our strengths.
Mohit sir, one thing I just want to mention, whatever he said, absolutely correct. I mean, what we are trying that maybe within 1 or 2 months or 3 months, we will make a very small capsule course for Maldives, then Sri Lanka, Bhutan, particularly Bhutan and other, with maybe 10 to 15 members, existing members, and very basic idea of agrometeorology and forecasting, whatever maybe. We make the module. We want to just start with the 2 to 3 months. But again, I'm telling you, I mean, whoever the in SAFOM, ultimately, when the funding will be coming, they will not do freely. They will be paid, will be maybe minimum paid will be there in the beginning, but once the funding will be coming, everybody will be paid. But what I feel, to make our presence in 9 countries, maybe within 2 to 3 months, with consultation up with all you, very basic courses we want to start, so that may help to get the funding, where we can say that already we are on the job, and already the SAMA has proved it, that they have done a number of webinars and others. So this is what I feel. Whatever, all you feel like that. Your comments, please.
No, I think it's good idea. It's good idea. We have to start through some of the documentation of some of the activities to show the donor agencies and other persons for approaching the donor agencies. I think it's good idea. So
Sir, you may be knowing that in Bangladesh, 2 agriculture universities they will be starting now,
Yeah.
agromet course, and I mean Dr. Rathod and Dr. Shiv Kumar. I was also there in Bangladesh that time. We had a number of meetings, and we make the capsule from very I mean primary to advanced stage. So we are also having the capsule, and WMO is also very good capsule with them. So I mean we can take all this as an input, and we can start up virtually.
Yeah. Yeah. It's good idea.
Yes. Can I, sir, tell
Kamal,
to
Dr.
yes.
Kamal.
Yeah. I was realizing this issue that whenever we will open the agromet department in 2 universities, then the capacity building of the uh, teachers or the relevant persons are very much essential in that case. I can SAFOAM can support it with some sort of payments. So it's obviously an opportunity for us. And number 2, sir, that I am realizing in different organizations, they have some budget for the international seminar or workshop uh, with payment. Like climate smart agriculture is a crucial issue. Few days ago, I have joined a meeting chaired by the Defense Ministry Senior Secretary. He was also telling the few like this that we should send our officers in any kind of international seminar or workshop to learn the issues and implement in this country. So that I would like to tell that if we can organize 1 or 2 or 3 days workshop or some sort of basic course of training on climate change or climate smart agriculture or climate smart nation building program. I think so many experts are in India already, so they can organize these issues and they can send uh, to different government and non-government and international organizations with payments. They will join. So it's a source of income side by side. The persons involved in this area, they will also be benefited. So from organization side, it has opportunity to provide some funds for this participation. So as for example, we the project that I am leading here, we have some sort of funds to participate in the international seminar workshop, relevant workshop or seminars. So we can provide this fund. So so many organizations like me, they have this opportunity. So if we can organize even in India, then I think it will be fruitful. So just after registration completion or legal issues completion, we can organize such kind of workshop or seminars, 2 or 3 days duration. Thank you, sir.
Okay,
There are
thank
few
you.
more members who have not spoken. Like Hansui, Nizabullah Osmani, and others. Give them a chance, please. Hansui is there. Nizabullah Osmani.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Thank you, all of you, inviting me to attend this meeting on behalf of Agrometeorology Division and our DMH. We will follow your decision, any decision, any issue by the SAFOAM. Everybody know for our situation in Myanmar, so even we want to do, but we have very limitation, so that is why for our side, we will follow any decision or any issue by SAFOAM. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Dr. Rana, please. Rana, Ranbir Singh Rana.
Namaskar, sir. Namaskar.
Yes.
So I have a privilege.
Ranaji, first introduce yourself because.
Okay.
Yes.
Sir, my name is Ranbir Singh Rana and I am from Himachal Pradesh Agriculture University, Palampur. Mainly focusing my research on climate change and this agroecological aspects and agricultural application, GS remote sensing. So I have the privilege to listen all the learned speakers and party who are participating today. So this is all okay. We can start with some basic funds as pointed out, suggested by all our learned colleagues. So in SAFOAM, I think we can keep one very important topic of the Himalayan agrometeorology also, because Himalaya has a lot of implications these days because of this change in climatic conditions. So whatever the contributions you need, this forum need from our side, from the Himalayan states like Himachal Pradesh, because we have been working on this agrometeorological advisory services project. I have been involved in for last 28 years in this formulation of agrometeor advisory services. So thank you very much, sir.
Ranaji, just to respond to you that we have discussed very elaborately on that on the Himalayan improvement, and Dr. Huda, who is here, who is already holding a very important position for the different hill development project across the world. So, and Archana is there from Nepal. So we made one group and we will be discussing separately, and we'll be inviting you also to discuss at length, and also we will be submit one projects on the Himalayan improvement in South Asia. So that is also for funding also, right? So this is a very good proposal. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Dr. Shivnandan Shah from Nepal.
Thank you, Dr. Nabansu sir. Just I want to focus on 3 points. First, we have to just complete the primary activities like to prepare the document. Actually, we just it should very urgent to prepare a brochure like that brochure. Second document should be the concept paper. In that concept paper, there should be the introduction and what are the impact of climate change in agriculture, how that impact will be reduced, and how that collaboration work with international organization can be done, and what are the activity can be done through the SAFOAM platform. So in that concept paper, these should be included. And second point, in the first point also, just we have the materialize for the registration fee, and then we'll go for the some of the activities, and I also agree with Dr. Ramakrishna that has already mentioned about that seminar. In a small seminar, if you will just invite the international organization, government agency, and private sector, and if we will just explore the SAFOAM activities and the concept, then the donor can attract through the seminar. Third one, there are many organizations to demand the online proposal for the developing countries in South Asia. So if we will be prepare the proposal and fill the online, then there is the possibility to have the funding from the international organization like that. Green Fund is also, and USDA. USD, I think, also has some fund. So we will focus on that funding through the proposal for the international organization. Thank you very much.
Dr. Najbullah Osmani from Afghanistan. Mr. Osmani, floor is yours.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Hello, good afternoon, everyone, and also I want to thank from Navansu to hard working. Uh, I am Najibullah Osmani, the head of GIS and Agromet Department of Ministry of Agriculture, Irrigation, and Livestock of Afghanistan. Uh, I want to talk about the agromet section in Afghanistan. We use very simply for agromet data because agromet data is very important for every country, and we use very simply from agromet data. We need to some workshop about at the agromet section. Now it's about the situation of Afghanistan. Some our station or range station are broken, and also we thank to you invited me in this workshop meeting. I want to thank you from Lebanon also. Thank you.
Anybody else? Dr. Navanchu?
Yes, sir, you can ask who are the experts, Dr. Shiv Kumar, Sheikh Saab, and Ramakrishna Saab, who has given the last comment, and then you can conclude, sir.
Yeah. So requesting the Ramakrishna, Dr. Ramakrishna, do you have any comment?
Yeah, I think most of the points are discussed. Means some institutions, as I said earlier, Amazon and Microsoft and Cisco are coming in a very big way to India, trying to control the whole agriculture in India. And weather advisories is one of the major part in that program. And Geo Platform and others are coming in. So I think if you approach them also, they would like to have them on the bandwagon, because that will be give them also a benefit, and it will also help us to be in the mainstream, because the whole base data of all the farmers will be given to them, and they'll be trying to give advisories to farmers. So I think we can play a major role in that program. That's one thing we can see. And the South Asia, that forum which you are talking, I think if we link with them also, that will also will give us a great support. And maybe for the beginning, as I said earlier, INSAM can, if it adopts SAFOAM, it gives some value to that also. And then a list of all the experts from different countries, if it can be really put into a proper format along with what the expertise is and what this forum is aiming at, some like kind of a small brochure, if it can be made, that will help many of the organizations to really think of supporting us, because when they see all the top people in agriculture meteorology are in this program from different countries, so they will also be interested that they can at least have some hope that we can do something for these countries. So support can always come. So as you said, I think kindly get all the biodata with the expertise of different people and their designations, what they did, and we can get support both from WMA, because Shivkumar was there for a long time. They know him. So like that, all of us are known somewhere or other. So I think that support can really help us to get a kickstart to take our program further. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So Dr. Navangshu, can you take over rest of the meeting for handling rest of the meeting? Because I have to move for the prayer.
Yeah, sir. Yeah, now you can, if anybody have any comments, otherwise you can close here.
Yeah, anybody have any comment more?
I think let's hear from Shivkumar and
Dr.
Raman Rao.
Yeah.
Sheikh.
Then Madhava Shivkumar.
Thank you. I think we had a very good session. There were a lot of suggestions from various speakers. I think one of the important thing, as was mentioned also by Dr. Ramakrishna, we need to take some appropriate action with regard to different organizations. For example, I can mention about the United Nations, that is WMO, FAO, UNESCO, and other organizations. And many of them have some appropriate issues that we can address from the SAFOAM. So I think it's important that as we move forward, we take the appropriate action. And some of us who have good contacts with these organizations, we can provide the appropriate information as to what these organizations are now going to really emphasize. And we're in 2021, and then in 3 months will be 2022. And there will be different organizations now. Of course, because of the pandemic since last year, many of these organizations, the staff are working from home. Many of them are not in the organization. But anyway, I hope that once we go next year, most of these people that we know in this organization will be available in their offices. Then we can meet and then provide the appropriate information to you, what these organizations are looking for, and how we could use that information for preparing appropriate documents from our side to get the funding from these organizations. Thank you.
Thank you. So, Dr. Huda, do you have any comment finally?
Thank you, Dr. Mohit. Yes, I think we agreed that let's identify priority areas, what you want to do, and what the capacity SAFOAM can offer, and we go from there. Thank you very much. I think that's a very good outcome for today, and let's move forward.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. So, do you have any other comments from any?
Dr. Amanna Rao, can you say some more?
Yeah.
Dr. Amanna Rao. I think he is muted.
Amanna Rao, sir, would you like to say something? Please unmute your mic. Your mic is now off.
Muted. Your mic is muted. Dr. Ramana Rao.
Ramana Rao, put on your mic, please. Ramana Rao, sir, put on your mic. We can't hear you.
Maybe some problems there.
Actually, he's traveling, I think. He's
put on
traveling.
your mic.
Then
your mic is off.
So my last comment is that I mean, I'm requesting all of you. We'll be from INSAM. We'll be arranging one. Webinar, very important webinar, 17th of October. Dr. Huda will chair, and Dr. Ramakrishna, then Dr. Shiv Kumar, then Brunini, then Federica, and hopefully Dr. Rathod. And also we called that chief of the WMO agriculture, Dr. Stefanski, and the son of Stichter. I request all of you to just join, and also you populate this kind of informations to all others so that they can join, because we have taken 3 themes very importantly. One is research, one is your education training. So these are very, very important, and capacity building also. So I will request all of you to make a lot of advertisement so that people can join. Okay. Now, sir, I think you can conclude and you can this thing.
Yeah, thank you very much, all the dignified members here to this meeting, and give the valuable suggestions for go forward the SAFOAM with the fundings and other activities. So, a lot of thanks to all of them, all of you, and I think today we can close the meeting and next time we'll discuss more and further today according to the today's decision. Thank you very much. Thank you all.
Nabasu, your mic, please.
So what I'm just want to tell that every week now we'll be having different, meeting of the group, and we'll be inviting all of you because you are the experts. Okay, Sheikh Saab, then Ramakrishna Saab, then Shiv Kumar ji, Dr. Huda, Mohanty Saab, and all others will be inviting. If your time permits, you kindly join and give your expert comment and advices so that uh, hopefully we can do our best. So we can conclude now. Okay, sir. We are conclude now, right?